Lighthouse Assembly of God, known at the time as Petersburg Assembly, was established in April of 1948 in the home of Earl Bennett Sr., with Charles O. Hershey serving as its founding pastor. With a hunger for God and a desire for Christian fellowship, that community of believers continued to grow and expand, inevitably leading to the need for a building. Construction on the building for this new and fledgling church began in late 1948. On Easter Sunday in 1950, the congregation held its first service in the newly built facility. Ed Hughes became the pastor in 1954 and extended the church building, adding on a Sunday school annex to the facility. In 1961, Petersburg Assembly welcomed Clarence L. Strom as its new pastor. Pastor Strom made various improvements to the facility, as well as doubled the size of the building itself. On April 14th and 15th, the church was rededicated. In 1966, the church was set in order under Pastor Ronald Bogue, and in 1970, the church parsonage was purchased under Pastor Dale Parker. The parsonage would prove to be an incredible blessing to future pastors that would come to lead the church. In 1973, the Page family moved to Petersburg, and Pastor George became the lead pastor. The church was incorporated in 1976 under Pastor George Page. On May 21st, 1978, Petersburg Assembly of God became a General Council-affiliated church. Pastor Page had a burning passion to see the community of believers expand. In 1978, lots were bought on the corner of Goffin and Lake Street in order to begin work on a new building. The Fireside Room, now known as the Fellowship Hall, was dedicated on November 22, 1981, and was used as the main sanctuary until the new sanctuary had completed construction. The church also changed its name to Lighthouse Assembly of God. The previous church building was sold to Narrows Broadcasting Corporation, KFSK, in 1982. Pastor Page and his family left Petersburg in 1983. Pastor Page would go on to be the longest tenured pastor in the church's history, ministering in Petersburg for nearly 10 years. From 1984 to 1989, the church continued to thrive under Pastor Clinton Fick. In 1986, construction on the current building had reached completion, and a special dedication service was held. The church was filled with many guests, including pastors and leaders from out of town who came to celebrate this joyous occasion. In May of 1993, under Pastor Martin Wixson's leadership, Lighthouse Assembly of God held a mortgage-burning celebration to commemorate the paying off of all the church's debt, complete with a roaring fire. This proved to be a memorable milestone in the history of the church. Pastor Wixson and his family served in Petersburg for 7 years. Pastor Dale and Beth Parker served as the lead pastors at two separate times, nearly 30 years apart. They were pastors from 1968 to 1970, and then again from 1997 to 1999. The second time they were pastors in Petersburg, there was a powerful move of God, where many people of all ages encountered the life-changing power of God. In 2003, the Corio family moved to Petersburg, and Lee Corio became the lead pastor. The church continued to grow. Soon, a young adults ministry began at the church, which proved to be fruitful. Pastor Lee and Carla served at Lighthouse Assembly for 7 years. In 2016, the church underwent extensive remodeling from top to bottom under Pastor Nathan Lopez. Since then, the church has continued to grow and flourish physically and spiritually. Ministry has gone beyond the walls of the building and into the streets of Petersburg. Lighthouse Assembly continues to display the light and love of Jesus in the community. Over Lighthouse Assembly of God's 75 years of active ministry, many lives and families have been saved, healed, set free, and released into the ministry. We are so grateful and blessed for each and every pastor, their wives, and their families for their ministry and connection to this church and the community of Petersburg. Thank you. We are also grateful for all the staff pastors, staff members, board members, leaders, and congregation members that have served and been a part of this church over the last 75 years. The following is a list of all the lead pastors that have served over the last 75 years. Charles O. Hershey, 1948 to 1951. George Bill Whitfield, 1951 and 1952, Lawrence W. Haynes, 1953, George Whitfield, 1953 and 1954, Edward and Jean Hughes, 1954 to the spring of 1959, David D. Schmidt, 1959 to 1961, Clarence L. Strom, 1961 to June of 1964. Bernard Toole, 1964 to November 1965. Ronald Bogue, 1966 to 1968. Dale and Beth Parker, 1968 to August of 1970. Leland Brodell, fall of 1970 to 1973. George and Darlene Page, October 1973 to September 1983. Clinton and Eileen Fick, March 1984 to April 1, 1989. Ken Harrington, 1989 to 1990. Martin and Donna Wixon, January 1990 to 1996. Edward Dale and Beth Parker, June 1997 to 1999. Paul Davis, 1999 and 2000. Charles Tucker, 2000 to 2003. Lee and Carla Corio, October 2003 to 2010. Tony Long Drew, October 2010 to December 2015. Nathan and Mindy Lopez, January 2016 to present. Thank you, Lord, for your amazing blessings and faithfulness over the last 75 years. We are excited for future opportunities to share the love of Jesus with all for hopefully many more years to come.